ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports. Well, the B3As wrapped up their two-day senior nationals yesterday at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium, and the final day ended with some thrilling competition. Over in the men's open high jump, Donald Thomas showing why he is ranked number 5 in the world, edging out Jamal Wilson and Trevor Barry, clearing a jump of 2.23 meters.
First off, I want to just thank God for the victory. I came home to win, and I secured the win, and just moving forward.
On the track side, we had a star-studded event in the men's 400-meter final with a top 4 showdown. The race was tight throughout until the final 50 meters, where we saw Alonzo Russell beat former Olympians Stephen Newbold, Michael Matthew, and Ramon Miller, finishing with a time of 45.52.
Going into the race, I just wanted to improve my start from yesterday. But I know being behind Michael Matthew, he normally goes out hard 300 meters, but I think today it's kind of off him. So I just kind of like to try to run off him, but I guess it worked out, but kind of disappointed in the time. But as the more I race, the times will drop. So I'm grateful. I came on injury free, so I look forward to the rest of the season.
Now, the women's 200-meter final only had 2 competitors, but that didn't take away from the excitement, as former Olympian Tynia Gaither beat out Texas State's Alexis Gray in a time of 23.17.
The objective was just to make sure I get out. That's something I've been struggling with this season, so I want to execute the curve really well, and I feel like I did that, and just finish strong.
In the men's 200-meter final, it was a much more loaded field. Chavez Sparky Hart edged out UB's Anthony Adderley, winning with a time of 20.90.
Well, it was a pretty good run. Got off the curve, felt in good position, and as I tried to transition out, felt a little bit of restriction and stuff, but it was a really good one. Glad I got the win. There was a little complication with the first round, but other than that, it was a good track meet.
Now, despite some good races, the two-day event did suffer from a low turnout and fan support, as well as some of the events having only 1 or 2 participants. We caught up with B3A's president, Rose Carey, to get her evaluation.
We did everything we could to put it out there. It's just unfortunate you had a lot of competing events. Of course, then you had Mother Nature, but I wouldn't say we were severely disappointed. Based on the turnout that we would have had last year, it is much smaller than it would have been. But, again, we're grateful and thankful for the sponsor that we do have on board and for the fans who came out and supported our athletes.
Carey adding of the committee is now finalizing their picks for the upcoming World Juniors and CAC as well as NACAC championships. Over in basketball, we revealed yesterday the roster for the men's national team set to play in the next FIBA qualifier, while head coach Mario Buleg saying that the team's starting 5 hasn't been named yet, but the team is set to get together in a matter of days.
He put together a time management in place on how we're going to manage these guys' time and who's going to be on the floor. Starting lineup have not yet been finalized as who will be in the first 5 because, again, we haven't got all those guys on the floors yet. Even though in our mind we don't know who we think the players who playing at a higher level compared to the others. But with that all being said, there has to be a chemistry in the mix. And so as of tomorrow morning, the contingent will be, along with the other players that are not present, will be flying from around the world. And we all will meet in Puerto Rico by midday tomorrow. Our first practice is scheduled for 4 p.m. In Puerto Rico tomorrow. And everybody's going to be there.
And some championship pedigree added to the mix, as Warriors assistant coach in charge of player development, Krista Marco, is a part of this year's coaching staff. And as with the amount of professionals on the team, coaching them should not be a challenge.
Michael said earlier, they're all pros, though. They play, whether it's overseas or in the NBA. European teams, they're all professionals. So I think he was talking about just the concepts and the terminology on the basketball court. They're all already going to know because of the level that they're playing at. So I don't think it's going to be that different.
The team is set to face off with USVI on Thursday. And the art of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is becoming increasingly popular around the world, and more so at home. We caught up with the owner of Bahamas Fight Sports Camp, who spoke about the teaching of the discipline locally.
This is pure Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And this is the self-defense variant of it. It's a very new sport, 100 years old, and it was developed because the founder of Jiu-Jitsu, Helio Gracie, he was a very sick old man, and he realized that a lot of the judo techniques use a lot of strength. and he couldn't get them. His weak frame, he couldn't figure out these moves. So he learned the concepts of leverage, of movement, to be able to defeat a larger, stronger opponent, even though he was sick and weak. So that's why this amazing self-defense art was built, especially for women and for children, because it was developed for the very purpose of defeating a larger, stronger opponent. So Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is what we teach, and it's the #1 self-defense art in the world today.
Classes for both kids and adults take place every day between 4 to 8 at the Airport Industrial Park. And that's a look at sports. Vamos tonight will continue after this break.